When Manchester United signed both Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo over the summer, there was a huge sense of optimism around the club and the fan base. United were signing two Premier League proven players who could immediately make an impact on the goal-scoring front. Although it took both players some time to find their rhythm, the signs were there from the beginning of the season that they would both excel. And against Brighton, they showed us exactly what we were missing last season. Now, before I start the analysis, I want to make one thing clear. The win over Brighton was a collective effort. Every single one of those players stepped up and did their job in order for us to gain a positive result in what was a really difficult fixture. I just want to highlight and emphasize, though, how important Mbeumo and Cunha were, not just getting on the ball, getting touches, and obviously scoring goals, but how important they were off the ball in their off-the-ball movement, but just how important they were defensively as well, because they had some major defensive contributions that honestly set the tone of the game more than anything. So let's start with their defensive contributions. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, there's something absolutely special about seeing an attack-minded player do his defensive duties and track back. And Mbeumo and Cunha did a lot of that in this game. This is the first scenario that I want to show you. Manchester United, as you can see, were stretched extremely thin. And it's actually Bryan Mbeumo who's covering Yankuba Minte in this position because Amad Diallo was too high up the pitch, couldn't get back into his position in time. So kudos to Mbeumo for even just sticking with Minte here, because most attack-minded players aren't really thinking about the defensive aspect of the game. They're thinking about how they can contribute going forward. But when you see an attacker do this is hard work. This is what most fans want to see, just hard work and discipline. So as Mbeumo is covering back, he's chasing back. I think Mbeumo does a really good job here because Minte is already ahead of him. These three defenders are completely out of the game. There's no chance any one of them is going to catch up to Danny Welbeck in time. What I like about Mbeumo here is he keeps running with Minte, and that sounds basic of itself. You know, he has to keep running to try and cover that space. But I think him continuously using his pace to force Minte to keep running actually is the reason why he gets ahead of the ball. I think Mbeumo here, not giving up, continuing to harry him, continuing to be on his back, to provide that constant pressure. Minte in this situation is trying to stay on side, trying to stay behind the ball, but Mbeumo's not giving him any respite. Look at the three defenders in this line here and look at Mbeumo. Now imagine if Mbeumo had stayed in line with his men, had just given up completely. I think Minte would have had an easier time or found it easier to stay in line with the ball, but because Mbeumo is just harrying him, he's not giving him any space, any time, he's offside. Excellent. That's exactly what you want to see from somebody like Mbeumo, tracking back, doing the defensive work. I'm absolutely thrilled and I'm buzzing because we have a player like this who has that mentality to track back, who has that mentality to work hard in all areas of the pitch for his teammates. This is a situation where Matheus Cunha simply is just doing his work defensively. You can see the advanced position of Mbeumo. You can see Šeško. You can even see Bruno is high up the pitch. Shaw and De Ligt had the task of marking Ruter and Welbeck. So them jumping into the space doesn't surprise me. But what surprised me was the fact that Matheus Cunha, you can already see, is signaling to Dalot and telling him to get into a good position because he's going to track this runner. As Van Hecke brings the ball up the pitch, boom, he tells Dalot, watch this space, I'm going to go ahead and track this man. And what I like about that is it forces Van Hecke to essentially look for a different option. There are no options here. This option is marked, this option is marked, and now because Cunha is doing his defensive work, this option is marked. And Van Hecke has no choice but to try and look in another direction. That is what I want to see from Manchester United on a consistent basis. Now, this is a sequence where Mbeumo showcased not just how good our individual press was, but collectively how good our team press was. Brighton are a team that love to play out of the back. I talked about that in my review video. They will live and die by playing out of the back. So when Ayari gets the ball in this position, it's good anticipation from Mbeumo. He steps back, makes it seem as if he's not going to occupy this space. And as soon as Ayari makes that decision to play the pass, Mbeumo's on it like a flash. Look how quickly he gets to the ball. This is the side of the game that I feel like a lot of people don't see. Obviously, when you score goals and you're getting assists and you're impactful on that front, then obviously that's the most important thing. But these little moments, the hard work, the determination, the anticipation from players like this, we wouldn't see a lot of this if it was Garnacho or Rashford. And that's just my opinion. I don't think we would see a lot of these plays and how smart these players are in this position. But from there, obviously, nothing was given. Still good work from Mbeumo to get into that position. Once again, this is another play that highlights just how good Cunha is at covering that space, especially in a game like this where Brighton's off-the-ball movement was so impressive. I'm really glad that Matheus Cunha was doing his defensive duties, also with Bryan Mbeumo. In this situation, Luke Shaw had actually gone out to man-mark Jorginho Rutter. As you can see, Rutter was all the way down here. Luke Shaw is in this position here, but because he was tasked with following him all over the pitch, he was out of position. Normally, Luke Shaw should be here, marking this guy. But because he's not, Manchester United are a little bit unawares of how to defensively set themselves in this situation. As the ball gets out to the Brighton player here, you can already see Matheus Cunha trying to hound the ball. The Brighton player is smart and he plays it out wide. That's the Kuiper, I believe. Cunha doesn't give up in this situation, and that's what I love. He continues to follow his man. And because Diogo Dalot and Casemiro are attracted to the ball here, Shaw is trying to get back into position, so him and De Ligt aren't necessarily focused on this space being exploited here. It's world-class defensive mindset from Matheus Cunha to track this run and follow him into the space. Now we're in a situation where we aren't too stretched and exposed because Matheus Cunha has now covered this space. He makes a tackle. Brighton get a corner, but it's good defensive awareness from Cunha. It saved us from a really bad situation because of the amount of Brighton players that were about to flood into the box. Who knows if he had played a good ball, these guys would have been open. They might have scored a goal from that. So that's excellent, top-notch defensive work from Matheus Cunha. Here's another insane situation where Cunha is actually going to track back from this position and find himself all the way in the penalty box. It's actually lovely from Cunha just because the determination and the grit to get into a position like this is what matters the most. You wouldn't expect to see someone like Cunha here, especially because Bruno is the central midfielder. So Cunha tracking back, I think actually is the reason why Minte does not score from this position. Because when Minte cuts inside here, he could take this shot on his right. He's a left-footed player by trade, but the option is there to take this on his right. And as he skins Luke Shaw, it's because Cunha, even though it's a risky tackle, because Cunha puts himself in that position, it throws Minte off. It forces him to go back into the space that Luke Shaw had just slid tackled into. And it helps us and it saves us from a dangerous situation. So once again, just good defensive awareness from our attacker of all people. Now, because United has such a good foundation defensively, the wingers were tracking back, working hard. I think it helped us moving forward. I think it helped us going forward to have the confidence and belief to attack Brighton knowing that we were solid at the back. This is a situation where Mbeumo gets on the ball, and he's such a smart player. He takes a look at Ahmad, sees he's in space, takes a look around him again just to see what his options are. And Cunha, in this situation, making such, he's just a brilliant player. He makes this diagonal run into the space. And because Mbeumo is so intelligent, he's waiting to see his options. He sees Cunha making that space. The Brighton players aren't really proactive enough to see this. Maybe Lewis Dunk is the only one because as Cunha makes this run, Dunk is the first one to react. But it's such an excellent ball from Mbeumo to find his teammate in that space. It's not an obvious pass. It's really not. The obvious pass was to Amad Diallo, but because Mbeumo is such an intelligent playmaking 10, as you would say, who can also finish, these are the types of situations and positions that we can find ourselves in against any team in the world. Unfortunate that Cunha hit it into the side netting, but still, we did such a good job there of getting into an advanced position, a dangerous position, to try and score a goal. This is just a situation where Mbeumo is so good with the ball at his feet. He's so good at taking the ball and turning and driving into space. His ball carrying ability is one of the reasons why Manchester United signed him. And this is just a quick scenario where he was able to blow by Lewis Dunk, using his pace, using his strength, using good body positioning to get himself in front and finding a strong pass to Amad Diallo. So it just shows how good Bryan Mbeumo is. He's such an intelligent player. Let's be real. Such an upgrade to any player we've had in that position for some time now. This scenario right here showcases how good Matheus Cunha is dropping to receive the ball, but also how quickly he can get in behind and stretch the back line. I think he's also such an intelligent player, but he brings something different than Mbeumo. Mbeumo is so refined and silky and clean with it. Cunha is inventive, he's creative. Might I say he's Brazilian? I mean, this is exactly what we expect, that bit of flair, the eccentricity. He's just so good at doing many different things. Here, he draws the attention of the Brighton defense. He gets the ball. He's a smart player, though, like I said. So as soon as he gets it, he's looking to assess his options. He sees that Mbeumo has made that himself available in this space. But he also sees that Bruno is on an island. Nobody is effectively marking Bruno in his position. So what does Cunha do? He takes the ball, plays it back to Bruno Fernandes, but he's proactive. He doesn't just sit still and try to play short passes. He notices that because Mbeumo is in this position with Baleba's flat-footed, he's never going to be able to run back quick enough if Cunha makes a run into the space that's been left. So what does Cunha do? He knows that Bruno Fernandes is a smart player. He knows that Bruno Fernandes is always looking ahead, always looking for the risky pass. So he makes that run into the space. Baleba actually catches on, credit to him. He does catch on, because most players I don't think would. I think most players would stick to the threat of Mbeumo, but Bruno plays a fantastic pass into Cunha. And from this position, it's Cunha just doing what he does best, drawing the opposition into him, getting into a position where he can find his teammates, and Casemiro makes a great run into the space. Cunha finds him, splitting the defense. That's impressive. That's what I want to see from Manchester United all the time. The constant fluidity, the changing of movement. It's perfect. It's exactly what Ruben Amorim wants from the day he stepped into the club. This is another clip just showcasing how good Matheus Cunha is in space. It doesn't matter if he's high up the pitch. It doesn't matter if he's on the wing. It doesn't matter if he's inverted or if he's dropping all the way back to receive the ball. He can link up play from anywhere on the pitch. As Luke Shaw gives the ball to Cunha, he's receiving, his body language is positive. I feel like from the Brighton perspective, you don't know exactly what he's going to do in this situation, because he might take the ball first time, try to dribble through the player. He might play it back. He might try to play it to Casemiro, but he's such a smart player. He notices that Bruno Fernandes is in space. You'll see him as soon as he comes into the clip, but he notices that Bruno is in space and plays a lovely reverse ball into him. And Bruno just does Bruno things, getting himself, taking a lovely touch to take Van Hecke out of the game. And now Manchester United had an opportunity to attack. This clip just simply showcases how brilliant Mbeumo's first touch is, how his first touch can get us out of danger, how it can give respite to our defenders, but it can also position us perfectly up the pitch. Amad Diallo plays the ball to him, and from this position, Mbeumo takes such a lovely touch to take Dunk completely out of the game. If Baleba wasn't here to foul Mbeumo, Šeško's in. He's going to play that pass through to Šeško. Šeško's going to have a one-on-one opportunity. You never know what might have happened in that situation. But I just wanted to showcase this because this is impressive. I said earlier in the video, I don't think Rashford or Garnacho or Antony or whoever's playing in that position can even do half of what Mbeumo does, can even do half of what Cunha does. And these guys were showing it against a good Brighton team. Now, this clip is actually really cool because look at Cunha's starting position. He's on the floor. He's quite literally on the floor in this starting position. But because he's such an impressive player, and he's always looking to get into good goal-scoring positions, always looking to be involved with his teammates, he immediately gets up. And as soon as Manchester United win the ball back, we spring into life. This is what Ruben Amorim wants. He's always wanted this. I've said this time and time again. It's winning the ball back. How proactive can you be to get up the pitch? As soon as he wins it here, gets the ball into Šeško, he's making his run into space. But he's not trying to also limit the space of his other teammates. So what does he do? He receives the ball here. And now Šeško and Mbeumo are making these runs here into the space, which allows Cunha to go on the outside, and Amad is in acres of space. And from here, you would expect, I think even during this match, I expected Cunha to shoot. I mean, it looked open. It looked like the type of angle that he would shoot from. But this is good decision-making to play Amad Diallo in. It gives us a better opportunity and angle at goal. And this is why Manchester United were able to defeat Brighton. Great off-the-ball movement. Great awareness from every single player on the pitch. The link-up play was fantastic. But I just think the determination to get into these goal-scoring positions really positioned us so well. It gave us the platform to play well. It gave us the platform to defend well. I'm just glad that these two players are Manchester United players because we've hit the jackpot. Let's just be real. We've hit the jackpot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I stand by what I say. I genuinely just don't see how Rashford, Garnacho, Antony, anybody who was a part of the team in the past few years could bring this much impact. Maybe Amad Diallo, when he was playing the right 10, was the only one. But now we have options where Amad Diallo can be a threat from wingback. He can be a threat on the overlap. Now we have options like Mbeumo and Cunha who can be constant threats up top, who can give us different dimensions in different games. We have Mason Mount, who's also on the bench. So these options are a lot more mature, in my opinion. They work hard off the ball. They work hard on the ball. They like to get themselves involved. This is perfect. This is a scenario where Manchester United can continuously build upon this momentum. These players can also build their own personal momentum and start to play out of their minds, no matter the opponent. Next up is Nottingham Forest, and I do believe that with these principles in place, we can achieve the same result, if not better. We can absolutely thrash Nottingham Forest, who are in a difficult position right now. It will be tough, but I think this Brighton game was tough, and We showed that with the right skill set, the right mindset, and the right determination, we get a good result. I think this is perfect for Manchester United, and these two players have tremendously improved the way that we play, tremendously improved the way that we finish our chances in front of goal as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Can't wait to talk to you guys on the next one. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. Peace.